Welcome to episode 8 of Landon's Guide to High School Math. I'm Landon, I'm your host, and we are doing the Pre-Algebra course, and we are continuing today with the second part of variables and expressions. We will be doing sections 3 and sections 4, and then we'll do the unit test. Now, when you're ready for the unit test, I suggest watching the previous episode if you haven't already. But anyways, let's get on with it. Let's start with writing basic expressions with variables. Okay, so as discussed in my last video, a variable is a letter that represents any value. It may be known or unknown. Write an expression for the sum of d and 8. What's the sum? Well, the sum is addition. So d plus 8 equals, we don't know what the number is because we don't know what d is. So it's unknown. But that doesn't matter. That's not what it's trying to ask us. We want the sum, addition. The answer here is d plus 8 because d plus, why isn't it let me point it in? Why isn't it let me d. Write an expression for the sum of. Okay, well, what? This thing better not. Oh, you've got to be kidding me. D plus 8. Okay, so, what if I can try it like this? D plus 8. Okay. Oh, here we go. Oh, I didn't see that. Okay, so we'll just do that instead. Okay. So that's good. Okay, write an expression for the difference of 10 and x. So what's the difference? The difference is subtraction, and we always go left to right. So 10 minus x. So that's our answer. That's all we do. We just identify what we're working on, what we're working for. So are we adding? Are we subtracting? Are we multiplying? Are we dividing? And also, it's not 11, it is 10. Might have to use this, mobile thing. Okay, so we'll do a bonus problem because I did miss the first one, but that wasn't really my fault. Write an expression for half the quantity b. So what's a half? We want that in either a decimal or a fraction. We'll use a fraction. So what's half? 1/2. Good. If you want more information about fractions, check out my previous video. And now we want the quantity. So we'll just put b here. Multiply. So that means that we will do, we will do a fraction. 1, half, boom, b. That is our answer. I forgot to say it. If you got that right, good job. Here's the videos and happy studying. Okay. I'm losing focus. Okay. Which expression represents the product of q and 6? So remember from my last video, we discussed that q and 6 can be written as q times 6, 6q, 6 times q, because if we put them together, it's saying, hey, I'm going to multiply these. So let's see if we can find anything that will be similar. So we know it's not going to be, we can knock out b and c immediately because b does subtraction and q does division. We want the product, multiplication. So we don't even have to, look at this. We can just look at the choices, and then we're like, boom, 6 times q, boom. 2 answers, process of elimination, d, boom. But that still follows my logic. So the answer is A and D. If you got that right, good job. Here's the answer explanation. Here's some examples. And here are the videos. You can always ask me help in the comments, and happy studying. Write an expression for 7 less than y. So 7 less. So this may seem like 7 minus y, but this is wrong. We want 7 less. We're taking y, but then we want 7 less. We subtract 7. Get an unknown value, but it doesn't matter. Y minus 7, that's our answer. Y minus 7. If you got that right, good job.
We have different.
Shut up. But anyways, credits to Khan Academy. If you got that right, good job. If you didn't, here are the videos. Happy studying. Write an expression for 7 divided by c. So now I'll let you guys take a crack at this one. What do you think this is? 7 over c, because it's 7 divided by c. So 7 divided by, no, divided by c. What's another way we can put it instead of just 7 divided by c? Another way we can put this is 7 over c. Now, just because I don't want to risk getting it wrong, I will write it as 7 divided by c like that. But you can still do that. And you can still accomplish the purpose. So if you got that right, good job. If you didn't, here's the videos. Happy studying. Here's your explanation. B plus 4. Alright, I'll let you guys take a crack at this one. What do you think this is? B plus 4. Boom. That wasn't too hard, right? So B plus 4. If you got that right, good job. Answer explanation. Examples. I'm not going to show it again. Here's the videos. And happy studying. Okay, bonus question. Alright, so I'll let you guys take a crack at this as well. 12 plus A. What's another way we can write this? A plus 12, because remember, it's interchangeable, so it doesn't matter where you put it. I'll put 12 plus A, but either way works. So there you go. If you got that right, good job. If you didn't, here's the explanation. Ask me for help in the comments. Videos. Happy studying. There's plenty of resources. Okay, so let's do writing. No, we just did that. Let's do writing expressions with variables. Okay, writing expressions represent 9 more than the quotient of 2 and x. So quotient, we're dealing with division here. So when we say division, we will do 2 and x. So we want 2 over x because that's the quotient. And then we have 9 more. So we have to add 9. So here is, now we can say, well, as we wrote it in our function, so 2x plus 9. What's another way we can write this? So we can actually also write this as 2 divided by x plus 9. If you want more information about PEMDAS, because it's not 2 divided by x plus 9, it's 2 over x plus 9. We do the division first. So if you want more information about PEMDAS, you can check out my previous video. But anyways, if you got that right, good job. Here's the law and explanation, but we're not going to yap all about that. All you have to do is just identify. So you might want to memorize vocabulary. So sum is equal to plus. Difference, I'm not going to write the whole thing out, but difference is equal to subtraction. Product is equal to multiplication. And quotient is equal to division. So sum, difference, product, and quotient. You might want to memorize those terms because they'll be very important in these next questions. So anyways, happy studying. Let's keep going. So, okay, product. So we just memorized product. That's multiplication. So we have 3 minus. So this one is actually 3 minus 2. I will put x, but you can also put 2 times x. You can put 2x, x times 2, don't matter. But the traditional and most common way you'll use it, you'll write it as this. So you might want to get used to this being a term. If you want more information about terms and coefficients, you can check out my previous video. But anyways, it is 3 minus the product of 2 times x. So if you got that right, good job. If you didn't, here's the examples. Here's the explanation, even though it's not important because we already solved the question. Here's the videos, and happy studying. Writing expressions represent 8 less than the product of 2. So let's see here. 8 less. Notice how it's not minus. If it was 8 minus, it would be 8 minus the product of 2x. But since we're dealing with less, we have 2x here, and we need 8 less. So we subtract 8. It wouldn't go here because, remember, the subtraction is not interchangeable. So you can't do that. You have to put it as it is in this equation right here. So we'll put that in. 2x minus 8 So, yeah, it's 8 less. The value of 2 times x, or the product, is 8 less. So if you got that right, good job. If you didn't, here's the videos and happy studying. I could also find an example. What if we knew, like, what if x equaled, like, 4? What if we put that into here? So, like, let's just, like, take a look at this. So, 2 times 4, that's 8, right? So, what if we said 8 less than 8? 8 less than 8 is 0. So, it kind of makes a little more sense. Let me do a different number, because I didn't really, like, demonstrate it much. What if we say, let's do 5. Yeah, 5 is a lot better for this demonstration. X is 5, right? So, then we have 2 times 5 is 10, so now we need 8 less than 10, and that's 2, right? Because 8 more than 2 is 10. So that's kind of why. It's not negative 2. That's not it unless you're doing subtraction. So that's kind of why you can't, like, make it. I mean, if you do the absolute value of subtraction, then it will be the same, but we'll talk absolute value later. Write in expressions represent 2 times the sum of 5 plus x. I'm going to let you guys take a crack at this one, and then we'll do it together. Okay, so 2 times the sum. So we have 2 times, now be careful. We want the sum of 5 plus x. So we want this to go in here. We don't want to say, oh, 2 times 5 plus x. This would be wrong because we will be multiplying these together to get 10 plus x. So make sure to put your parentheses. And you can also just put it as 2 parentheses 5 times x, because both variations will work. So, I mean, this will work too, but if you want to just go faster and be efficient and simplistic, then that will work as well. So, this is our answer. If you got that right, great job. If you didn't, here's the videos. Happy studying. Okay, moving along here. Got our last lesson for this section, writing basic expressions, word problems. Okay, Janelle saved up $265 and she bought a sweater for $60. How much money does Janelle have left? Write an answer expression. Okay, so let's see here. We have $265 and then bought a sweater for D. So, okay, so if we're buying something, are we gaining or are we losing money? We're losing money, right? Because, we can't. I mean, when you buy something, you lose money. That one's more common sense. Now, okay, how much money does she have left? Well, okay, so we don't have a value for D. So we just put it as is, and it's a word problem. So it's 265 minus D. Now, what if D was 45? Then what would it be? If you said 220, ding, 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 you are correct. 265 minus 45 is 220. So if you got that right, good job. Here's the answer explanation. Here's the video, and happy studying. Next problem. It takes B minutes for Sylvia's bathtub to fill with water. How many minutes will it take to fill 3 same-size bathtubs? Write your answer. So let's see here. We have a bathtub. Let's just draw a square, okay? Each square is a bathtub, so this will take B minutes. We want to get 3 of these bathtubs. So how many B's do we have? 3, and then we just put B. So, like, this is saying 3 B's. Bzz, bzz, bzz. But not that type of B. We're just expressing it as a variable. So, 3B would be our answer because we have 3 B's. So, 1, 2, 3. Or B plus B plus B. But we'll put 3B for the purpose of this answer. If you got that right, good job. If you didn't, here's a video. Happy studying. And here's the explanation as well. I forgot to show that. Wait, no, this is his explanation. What am I doing? Okay. Hillary made 48 chocolate chip cookies and white sugar cookies. How many total cookies should Hillary rate? So we have chocolate chips and sugars. So if we have the total, we're usually adding, and this is what we're doing here. So 48 plus y plus 48. You know what? We're going to show off here. Y plus 48. Heck yeah. That's right. We're going to Harvard. Wait, why are we considering Harvard this early? It's okay. So, okay, so here's the answer explanation. If you got that right, good job. If you didn't, here's the video. Okay, here's the video, and happy studying. Okay, the Running Aces card team won $548 playing in poker tournaments last year. The winnings were split evenly among the P players. How much money did each player receive? Write your answer, explain the question. Okay, so they're evenly split among P, which means that we're going to get a value that will distribute evenly. So if we are cutting something, it means that we're splitting it in half. This is division. So split, cut, quotient, divide, whatever it may be. Like say you're slicing a pizza. You slice it into 8 slices. So you have a whole pizza and then you split it into eighths. 1/8 of a pizza goes to 8 people in a party. So that means that we have 548 and we divide that by P, or we can do it as a ratio, but it doesn't matter because we can just put it as per is. So if you got that right, good job. If you didn't, here are the videos and happy studying. Woo! Okay, Phil received his prize of X dollars from a poker tournament. The tournament cost him $100 to enter. What is his winnings? Okay, so let's see. It cost him $100 to enter, which means that he lost $100. So $100 less, right? So then we do X dollars from a poker tournament. So he won X, but he lost 500 because he had to pay $100 to enter. So we would put X and then minus 100. So here the answer is X minus 100. Ka-chow, 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 ka-chow. If you got that right, good job. If you didn't, here's the video. And happy studying. Ethan rollerbladed a total of 623 kilometers over D days. He rollerbladed the same distance each day. How many did he rollerblade each day? Alright, I'll let you guys take a crack at this one, then we'll go through it together. So go ahead and pause right now. Okay, so 623 over D is the answer. We have over this amount of days, same distance, so that means we cut each time. So 623 over D is our answer. If you got that right, good job. If you didn't, here's the video. You can ask me for help as well. And happy studying. Okay, next problem. Richard caught F fish 2 weeks ago and 32 fish last week. How many fish has Richard caught these last 2 weeks combined? Write your answer in this question. Okay, so let's see here. We have these last 2 weeks. So F fish 2 weeks ago, and then we have 32 last week. So that is in the span of 2 weeks. So we are combining how many fish. So F plus 32 would be the appropriate answer. So F plus 32 is the answer. And I forgot to pause, but that didn't seem too difficult. If you got that right, good job. If you didn't, here's the videos. Happy studying. So yeah, so you can plug in values. I don't know why that would be necessary, but yeah, so okay, happy studying. Okay, so good job. That's the end of section 3. Now I want you guys to take quiz 3, and then we will go ahead and finish off with the last section, which is just as long as section 1 is. So let's hope there's not a lot of problems in each section. Good luck. Your quiz starts now. The answer is 324 divided by X, if you got that right. How much did each tick? What? Okay. The answer is minus what? I put that. I put divided by X. Okay, that's a bug. All right, hey. If you put 324 divided by X, then you're correct. I don't know why I didn't take it. Maybe I accidentally pressed minus or something. I don't know. Okay, next problem. The answer is 4 divided by X plus 6. If you got that right, good job. Okay, so the answer is 20 minus p. If you got that right, good job. The answer is 4 parentheses x minus 2. If you got that right, good job. The answer is B minus 7. If you got that right, good job. I'm not going to submit because then that will decrease my level, but that wasn't supposed to happen. So I'm just gonna exit out of here and leave it as is. We're gonna move on to the next section. But anyways, if you did go on that quiz, good job. Let's go ahead and move on to distributive property with variables. Distributive property, so that is, I love distributive property. I still use it to this day. So what we do here, this is kind of a different way though. We have to distribute. And what distribute means is that if we're taking a 4 and we do it 5 plus y without an unknown variable, we have to do... So like, this is just another way of saying 4 times 5 plus 4 times y. Because every single part of the equation here is in parentheses. So it must be multiplied by 4. So, what do we do here? Well, we know that 4 times 5 is equal to 20. And then 4 times y, when we have a number and a variable, we just combine that variable. So the answer here is 4y plus 20. So, if you got that right, good job. And yes, Khan Academy does do exactly that. 2 times 4 plus 2 times 3. And then 3 times 4 plus 3, yes, yada yada. And if you didn't get that right, here's the videos. They did put 20 plus 4y. I would probably I prefer to put the variable and then the term, so like from highest degree to lowest degree. But 20 plus 4y will work perfectly fine. For this tutorial, I will use my preferred method. But anyways, happy studying. Distribute to create an equivalent expression with the fewest symbols possible. Whoa. We already got a lot, but that's okay. We can tackle it all. So let's go ahead and distribute to each one of these. So 6 times 3. So 6 times 3c. So whenever you're multiplying by a coefficient by a term, ignore the variable for a moment, and then just do 6 times 3. 6 times 3 is 18, and then you add the c back. Because you can also write as 6 times 3 times c, which is not really ideal, but you can do that. So 18c minus 6 times 5 is 30, and then we add back the d, and then 6 times 6 is 36. You see what I did here? I distributed to each one of these. So, that is our answer. 18c, I still can't put... Okay, 18c minus 30d plus 36. If you got that correct. And yes, Khan Academy does say we have to distribute. If you got that correct, good job. If you didn't, here are the videos. There's one down here. Yep. Here are the videos. Why the heck can't I do this? Here are the videos, and happy studying. Okay, the next problem. Okay, distribute to create an equivalent expression with the fewest symbols possible. So it does say times 2 over here, but remember that multiplication is interchangeable. I'm going to put the 2 back over here. So instead of that weird junk, I'm going to put it as here. So then we can distribute. So we can distribute each one. So 2 times 6 is 12, and then that's E, minus 2 times 3 is 6F, and then 2 times negative 4 is negative 8. Ignore that. Okay, so this is our answer. 12E minus 6F minus 8. So 12E minus 6F minus 8. If you got that right, good job. If you didn't, here are the videos. Have a second. I hope it's not too difficult. You're just kind of multiplying, like, you know, some, like, variables and terms and yada yada. Distribute to create an equivalent expression with the fewest symbols possible. So I'll let you guys take a crack at this one, and then we'll do it together. Okay, the answer you should have gotten is j plus 2, because 1/3 times 3, so if you want more information about multiplying fractions, check out my previous video. It's 1 times 3 is 3, and 3 times 1 is 3, so 3 is 1. So then we have 1, and then we have j, which is just 1j is just j, and then 6 times 1/3, that's 6 over 3, which is 2. So j plus 2 is our final answer here. J plus 2. If you got that right, good job. Ooh, we got a badge. Nice, that's awesome. Shows how well we're doing so far. And if you got that right, good job. If you didn't, well, there are obviously some videos. You can ask me for help. You can ask someone else, or you can just have a happy studying. Okay, let's do this. Create equivalent expressions by factoring. Factor 18. Ooh, factoring. Let's talk factoring for a little bit. Factoring is just another way of it's reverse distributive properties. So instead of trying to make it into short terms, now we're trying to make it into long terms. What we want to do here is we want to find a common factor between 18 and 36. If you want more information about that, you can check out my previous video. But what is the relationship? So what can we divide by 18 and 36 and it can still be a whole number? 2? If we divide each one of these by 2, we put the 2 out here because 2, 2. And then we put 9p minus 18. Does this make sense? Because, and you can check your work. You can do distributive property here, like 2 times 9p is 18, and 2 minus 18 is negative 36, which, that's optional, but if you do want to do that and confirm our work, or if anything, given our choices, we probably might not have to worry about this at all. If we just plug in the values and try to make it equivalent to what we're trying to solve, then this will be a piece of cake. So let's start. 3 times 9p minus 12. So we have 3 times 9, which is 27p, and then 3 times 12 is 36. So 36 is correct, but 27 is not. It should be 18. So A is wrong. Choice B, 2p minus 4p. So first of all, like terms. So like terms are terms where they have the same variables. So 2p minus 4p is the same. So it's kind of like, coefficients are the same, so you can multiply them. While if you have p and something else, it's like comparing apples and oranges. You can't. While here, we're just comparing apples. 2 minus 4 is negative 2p. So 9 times negative 2p, that's negative 18p, and that's not what we're looking for at all. Choice C. Well, there's 2 answers here, so we know these are correct, but I will just confirm that they are correct. Choice C. 2 times 9p minus 18. We have 18p over here minus 36, so this is correct. And then 18 times p minus 2, so 18p minus 36. So C and D are our answers here. If you got that right, good job. If you didn't, here are the videos, and happy studying. Okay, next problem. Factor 18m plus 42n to identify the equivalent expressions. Let's find a common factor between these numbers. What do we have? Well, let's just plug it in. But we do know that since they're both even, they are divisible by 2. If you want more information about that, check out my previous video. Okay, so let's plug in the values. So 6 times 8 is 48m, and then 6 times 7m, n is 42. And hey, how about that? That is exactly what we're looking for. A is correct. Let's find our next one. Choice B, 3 times 16m plus 14n. Ooh. Okay, so 3 times 16, that is equal to 48, yep. 48m, and then 14 times 3 is 42n. So, hey, how about that? How about that? That is also our correct answer. So, A and B are right. 2 times 12m is 24m, and 7 times 7m is 49m. If you can even eliminate one of them, it's not going to be right. A and B are our only answers here. If you got that right, good job. If you didn't, here are the videos. You can ask me for help, and happy studying. Here's a little little thing on my screen. Give me a moment. Okay, let's do some more practice problems. Okay, so 20 and 60. What do we have? So immediately, 60. That is bigger than 20. Unless we have a fraction here, C is automatically incorrect. We can eliminate that. If we can eliminate one more answer choice, we'll know the other ones are right. Choice, let's see, 4 times 5, that's 20. And then 5 times 5, that's 25? Hey, wait a second, it's supposed to be 20, not 25. B is wrong as well. Without even have to check, A and D are our answers here. If you got that right, good job. You might have not used the same strategy as I did, because I will prioritize short answer, because it's kind of rare if you get a multiple choice math test. But anyways, happy studying. Alright, last problem. It's a little hard, but I'll let you guys take a crack at this, and then we'll go through it together. Okay, let's go over this. So, okay, D is immediately not correct because we're looking for C for the start because it's the biggest variable. So, D's out. And then our next one, let's see here. We have 7 times 4 because we have 7 and 4. I want to try and knock out the small numbers. If we can get the small numbers, then that'll be simple. So, 2 times 14 is negative 28. A, that's not right. So, A and C are our answers here. And if we check the work, then everything validates out. A and C are our answers. If you got that right, good job. Here's the explanation. And yes, it is kind of complicated that they show it. But again, I'm trying to help videos and happy studying. Alright, we're cruising through this just like we're in the sky. Factor with distributive property, variables. Apply the distributive property to factor out the greatest common factor. Alright, greatest common factor, GCF. Oh, the good old GCF. We love it. Okay, so we want to find the greatest factor in 27 and 18. Common factor is just another way of saying, hey, what's the biggest factor that can be distributed into both 27 and 18? If we look at our table, we will know that we will have 27 over 9 and 18 over 9. If you want more information about tables, multiples, and dividends, you can check out one of my first episodes. But anyways, 27 divided by 9 is 3, and 18 divided by 9 is 2. If they're whole numbers, it checks out. There's no other number that will work. In other words, if you find a number that's prime, it'll also automatically check out. If you want more information about prime numbers, you can check out my previous videos on the channel. So, 9 will be our answer. So, we have 9. Multiply that by 3 minus 2r. So, that is our answer here. If you got that right, good job. If you didn't, here's the videos, and happy studying. Okay, next one. Alright, apply that distributive property. Okay, 25p and 50q. So, let's do 25 and 50. So, let's try to find... Or we can get 1 as well. If we get 1 or a prime number, then we're done. So let's see. 25 and 25 and 50 and 25. That would be 1 and 2. So, yeah, that would work. So, let's do 25 and... No, not 22. 25 and... P plus 2Q. If you got that right, good job. And if you didn't, here's the videos. Happy studying. And yeah, you might want to have a one of those tables where they show you like times tables, because that'll be very helpful when you're trying to find the greatest common factor. Okay, apply the distributive property. So let's see here. So now we have all these factors. We want to make sure that the factor is at least the same or lower than 5, because if it's over 5, then that wouldn't work because it will guarantee be a decimal. So let's do 5, 10, 25. And from my last video, we learned that any number with the ones place that ends with 5 or 0 will be divisible by 5, and that is equal to 5. So that means that this must be our greatest common factor. We get 1, 2, and 5 for our answers. Understand? So we get A minus 2B plus 5B. See how I did that? Because we take 1, So A, we do minus 5. Oh, wait, no. All the way around. So I went from lowest to highest. So 10 divided by 5 is 2. So we have 2A, and then 25 divided by 5. So minus 5, and then 5B divided by 5 is just B. So 2A minus 5 plus B. Huh? Oh, I forgot to put the 5. Yeah, you gotta make sure you put the 5, because then it looks like you just made a completely different problem. So 5, yeah, there we go. Much better. Now that looks like the answer. So if you got that right, good job. That was my fault. We'll do a bonus problem. That's fine. More practice is more fun. And if you didn't, here's the videos, and happy studying. Okay, next problem. Apply the distributive property to factor out the greatest common factor. So we have 9 and 12. So we want to make sure it's under 9. Okay, factors of 9. There's only 2, right? Yeah, the only one I can think of is 3. So 3 must be our greatest common factor. So we put 3, and then we put parentheses. Let's see here. 3 plus 4n, right? You see how I got that? Because I did 3 times 3 is 12, and 3 times 4 is 12. So this is our answer. If you got that right, good job. If you didn't, here are the videos, and happy studying. Okay, moving along. Bonus question, I'll let you guys tackle this on your own. This look a little hard, but I know you can do it. Okay, so the answer you should have gotten is 4c plus 6d plus 3. So let's break it down. We have 3 here, which is a prime number, so we know that it must be 6. And then we divide each side by 6, and we get 24 divided by 6 is 4, and then 36 divided by 6 is 6. So that's our answer. 4c plus 6d plus 3. So this is our answer. If you got that right, good job. Here's the answer explanation. Here's the videos, as I should say, plural, and happy studying. Okay, we only have 2 more to go, so everyone just keep pushing on, and then we will do this as quick and as efficiently as we can. Okay, combine like terms. We discussed this already, so any term that has the same variable or just any coefficient. So 7 minus 2, those are like terms. You know, you can combine them. It's 5. And then 6t plus t, so, like, you know, they both have t. So 6t plus t is 7t. So 7t plus 5. See how I got that? Because 6 plus 1 is 7, and then 7 minus 2 is 5. So, good work. Oh, I forgot to check, but happy studying, and here are the videos. Okay, so let's do the same thing here. So, if there's no other terms, 3n is the only term with n. So, this will stay the same. And then 7 minus 2 is 5. So, it's 3n plus 5. And remember that if it's positive, plus, if it's minus, just keep it as is, minus. So, if you get that right, good job. Here's an example. So, yes, it does highlight the like terms, like, you know, the y's are in pink, the x's are in purple, and the coefficients are in yellow. And remember, a coefficient, I discussed that last video, it is a term. No, it is a number. No, it's a term without a variable. So we have coefficients, we have variables, and we have terms. Terms is the whole picture, while a coefficient and a term are just fragments. So, if you got that right, good job. If you didn't, here are the videos. Happy studying. Okay, next problem. Combine the like terms to create an equivalent expression. So we have 8x minus 1 plus minus 2y plus 4. So x and y, so those are not like terms. So those keep the same. And then we have negative 1 plus 4. This is equal to 3. So then we have 8x minus 2y plus 3, because those are the terms. 8x minus 2y minus 3. If you got that right, what? Minus, plus 4. Whatever has more weight in it, since 4 has, like, more, it's 3. I accidentally put minus there. That's fine. Alright, if you got that right, good job. That was my fault. I just put that there. We'll do a bonus problem. Here's the videos, and happy studying. I swear this is not scripted, by the way. Like, I'm not doing this on purpose. Just know that for future reference. Like, because remember, I'm doing this live with you guys, so I'm kind of solving this, you know, with the speed. So, combine the like terms to create an equivalent expression. We have 4n plus 2n plus 11. So, Like terms, 4n plus 2n is 6n, and then we add 11, and that's good. So 6n plus 11. So if you got that right, good job. If you didn't, here's the videos. Happy studying. Okay, bonus problem. I'll let you guys take a crack at this by yourself, and then we'll go through it together. Okay, the answer here is 4c plus 2d plus 10. So 4c and 2d, these are alone, and then 7 plus 3 is 10. So that's our answer. 4c plus 2d plus 10. Not 11, 10. If you got that right, good job. Here's an example, here's the videos, and happy studying. Good job, everyone. Okay, we only have one more lesson, and then we are good for this episode and the entire unit. So, here we go. Equivalent expressions. Okay. Loading. 7. Okay. Which expressions are equivalent to q plus q plus q plus p plus q? That's a tongue twister. Okay, so let's go ahead and just solve this without any choices. So we combine like terms, q plus q plus q, that's 3 q's. See how I got that? Because there's 3 of them, and then 2 p's, so 2p. So let's see here. This is correct. And yeah, this is correct, because you have 2p plus 2q, and then you add 2q and q, which is 3q, and then 2p. So it would be A and B. So if you got that right, good job. And it does do a lot. But anyways, here's the video, and happy studying. Okay, next problem. Which expressions are equivalent to 3x plus 3x plus y? Okay, so shut up. Okay, so we have 3x, and then we have to do derivative properties. So 3 times x is just 3x because it stays as is. 3 plus 3y is just 3y. So we have 3x plus 3x is 6x plus 3y. So, let's see here. So we have 6x plus 3y. That's correct. That's what we have. It's not going to be multiplication. And then 3x plus x plus y, that's 3 times x is 3x, 3 times x is 3x, 3 times y is 3y. So we have this right here, which is also correct. Now, it may not be direct, but it is literal. So if you got that right, good job. If you didn't, here are the videos. Happy studying. Okay, next one. Which expressions are equivalent to 4f plus 2g? So, to find this, we have 2 times 4 and 2 times 2. So, let's just find the literal expression. We have 2 times 4 is 8f, and then 2g. So, we have 2 times 2 is 4g. Okay, it's not A, because that's not what I have. E, how about that? We have this answer. We have 4 and 4, which is 8f, and then g. So, E is right. 2f plus g. Yeah, you know what, that's right, because, it can be interchanged in a certain way, so yeah, D is also correct. 8f plus 4g, that's what I have, and then B, that won't work, because if 2f gets to g, it'll be 4fg, because remember, it's 2 times f times 2 times g, so that would be 4 times f times g, because like terms don't multiply, it's like apples and oranges, so it's not that either, so it's C, D, and E, those are our answers. If you got that right, good job. And yeah, they're giving a lot of colors. I love colors. And here's the videos. Happy studying. If you got that right, good job. That's our explanation. Okay, next problem. Which expressions are equivalent to j plus 2k? Alright, let's see here. It's not multiplication, so now we just have to check if 2's right. So 2j plus 2j plus 2k. No, that's not right either. So, because we have 2 plus 2 is 4j. It's 4j plus 2k, and it says here j plus j, which is 2k. So, C is our answer. If you got that right, good job. If you didn't, here are the videos. And happy studying. Okay. Which expressions are equivalent to 4b? So, we have b plus 2b plus 2b, so we have b plus 2b plus 4b. We add all those, and we get 7b. So that's not right. 3b plus b, so that's 3b plus 1b. 3 plus 1 is 4b, so this is correct. And then 2 times 2b, we have 2. 2b is equal to 4b, because 2 times 2 is 4. So it is C as well. So B and C. If you got that right, good job. If you didn't, here are the video, and happy studying. Okay. Which expressions are equivalent to x plus x plus x plus 2? So we have x plus x plus 2, which is 3x plus 2, because, 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 is 3x plus 2. It says right here for A, and it's not it for B, because that would be that they're flipping it around. It's not it for C either, because we have 3 times x, which is 3x, and then 3 times 2 is 6, so it's not C either. D, 2x plus 1, so we have 2 times x, plus x is... No, D is correct, actually, because we have 2x plus 2 plus x. 2x plus x is 3x, and then plus 2 is correct. And since it's only asked for 2, 5x is not it, because that's a product, so A and D is correct. If you got that right, good job. Here's the answer explanation. Here's the videos, and happy studying. You can ask your help in the comments. Okay, I'll let you guys take a crack at this one, and then we'll go through it together. Okay, let's go through this. So, I'm looking at this right now, and immediately, I can tell that these are not correct. Because although they removed the 4, that does not mean you can replace it with an 8 or a 6. So, if we wanted to get a reasonable guess here, then, well, we're just removing the 4. We wouldn't even have a coefficient. The real answer would be 10g plus 6h plus 8. So this would be our answer. And then if we wanted to maybe... No, this is simplified, so it is C. If you got that right, good job. If you didn't, here's the answer explanation. Here's the video, and happy study. Okay, so good job, everyone. We have just completed. That's everything you need to know. So let's take quiz 4, and then we'll do the unit test. So quiz 4. All right, are you ready? Your quiz starts now. Good luck. Answer is 6 parentheses 4a minus 3b. You got that right, good job. The answer is B and C, if you got that right, good job. The answer is 4p plus 3, if you got that right, good job. The answer is C and D, if you got that right, good job. The answer is 30x minus 18. You got that right, good job. Okay, so that is the end of quiz 4. Now, let's go ahead and take the unit test. So, if you haven't watched the first episode, the first part of this unit, I'd suggest doing that right now. But, anyways, assuming you've done that already or are going to do that right now, go ahead and do that right now. I'll wait. Okay, you're back. Okay, so, are you ready for the unit test? Let's do this thing. You have 12 questions, and your test starts now. Best of luck. Okay, answer is 6a plus 2b. Make sure to pause, by the way, because, that's kind of why I'm going fast, just for the pacing of this video. Okay, answer is 6a plus 12b plus 18c, if you got that right, good job. The answer is 7, if you got that right, good job. Answer is B and C, if you got that right. I read that wrong. The answer is B and D. If you got that right, good job. The answer is A. If you got that right, good job. Answer is 205. If you got that right, good job. The answer is 2N. If you got that right, good job. The answer is 3 factors for 2, and then this would be 2 factors. If you, gosh dang it, why does this keep happening? 2 terms. If you got that right, good job. You are better than me. The answer is 4 divided by x minus 1. If you got that right, good job. The answer is 6 for C plus 6D plus 3. If you got that right, good job. The answer is 4C plus 2D plus 10. If you got that right, good job. The answer is B. If you got that right, good job. No, decreases. Okay, so it would increase. If you got that right, good job. And the answer is B, C, and D. If you got that right, good job. Okay, so that is it for this unit. So if you did good this entire unit, then that is awesome. Kudos to all of you that stuck around during this entire unit. So, okay, that will wrap up this episode. On the next episode, we will go over equations and inequalities introduction. So, without further ado, this is the outro. I'm Landon Pitts. I was your tutor and mentor today, and I will see you all next time. Goodbye.